It don't cost you nothing.
I would like to reach out to you. Oh, well, hello, Quiet. How are you? Welcome to my chat, sir. No, I didn't. Let me check, sir. Where's my iPad? It's right in front of me. Doggone it. Did you send it to a Hotmail account? Quiet, did you send it to a Hotmail account or a Gmail account? You gotta go. Okay, Ninja. Will you take care, sweetheart? So I spoke with Storm. Just forget that email. Okay. I spoke with Stone. Sorry. Okay. Okay, so you don't want to talk to me? I was bothered by the post you did with me in it. Did I say something about you, sir? Or did you just happen to be in the portion that was recorded? I would love to talk to you as well. I don't have nothing to hide, though. And I'm not saying that what you're saying is wrong. I'm not saying a word about what you said being wrong. But I will say that you do have a lot of receipts. I don't know for sure if the receipts are completely accurate, but again, I don't know that to be true either. But it's all about the delivery with me. hmm I don't have a problem with your content. Actually, let me just say this, sir, and I think that this might clarify some things. I believe you should have your own channel. I'm gonna look into the camera when I say that. Yeah, you come on up. Let me invite you on up. Hold on just a second. Oh, wait a second. I did this wrong. Bear with me. I'm new at this. Okay. Share screen. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to invite you. Invite. There we go. Invite guests. I'm going to put the link in the chat. This is for Quiet Storm only, okay, y'all? Okay. You're welcome to come up, sir.
Hello?
Hello, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me okay?
I sure can.
Okay. First of all, let me say thank you so very much for the courtesy and letting me come up. I appreciate it deeply.
Absolutely.
Um, when you were mentioning the receipts, every document that I have is officialized and come from the state of Alabama.
Oh, I don't doubt that at all, sir. I
Yeah.
don't doubt that at all.
Oh yeah. And I'm not responding in negativity. I said you and I never met before, and
Mhm.
so I just wanted to clarify my portion of as to what I do and why I do it. So and I think you would understand me a little more.
Mhm.
Hold on, my K9's under me. I need to get him from under me. Yeah. But okay, sorry about that.
Mhm.
Okay, so now we're getting an echo. Is it still echoing? No,
I
it's
don't
not.
hear an I don't hear an echo.
Okay. All right. So um I have found a lot of receipts in dealing with this Angie Stone situation.
Mhm.
And I found, and I will tell you on this channel first, as of this morning, it's way deeper than what we all think.
What do you mean by that? Deeper in what way?
Normally in the industry, you can see a lot of nefarious action that come from the top down, from the labels down,
Mhm.
but it's just the opposite in this case.
That's what I thought. It's from the ground up.
It's from the ground, ground to the middle, not even past the middle.
Mhm.
This is straight greed among people that
Broke people.
among well, some of them got money. Some of them have money, and a lot of them don't. But it's
Well,
us.
in comparison, well, I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but I think I said it in my last video. This isn't about higher ups. This is broke change in comparison to higher up money.
Yeah,
That's what I meant by that.
yes,
These are people that have been right there in her face.
that is very correct, and that
Okay.
is that is that is what it is. Now, in reference to me having my own channel, I'll explain to you. I have a channel, but I don't use it for YouTube type of activity. And the reason I don't is because I'm a broadcaster. I'm not a blogger, YouTuber, and
Mhm.
I don't want to be. But being in broadcast, I've interviewed Angie Stone a few times.
Okay.
This became personal to me.
Okay.
So
That's understandable.
I went to the one site, and that's where I pretty much got stuck at giving out all the information that I have right there.
Mhm.
And so that answers the question to why I have not started my own. I've been told that many times, but
Mhm.
um, I don't care about monetization. I don't care about money. I don't need any money.
Well, when I say you should be on your own channel, it's not about the monetization either. It's about who you affiliate yourself with. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And if I were to look at you, or if I would listen to you
Mm-hmm.
and then separate you and listen to the other people or other person on that very channel that we're referring to, we're
Mm-hmm.
talking two different types of content.
That is true. I would agree
Okay.
with that.
And I'm not trying to throw no shade. I'm not trying to throw no stones because when I throw a stone, I don't hide my hand.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to stay by what I say.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that, let me just say this, I believe that you're a bit too dignified for that channel. Can I say that?
You can, and I accept that.
Okay. And I'm not throwing no shade on that channel because
Mm-hmm.
that's her channel.
Mm-hmm.
That's how she operates.
Yeah.
And when you step in the mud, you see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It muddies the waters even when the water's clean. Does that
Mm.
make sense?
That makes sense.
So I'm not I'm not doubting your content. It's just where it's showing up at because then it discredits you. That's all I'm saying. Because you have receipts. Now, the other night the young lady came on, Mecca, I think was her name.
Sharon Mecca. Yeah.
Sharon, yeah.
Same person. Yeah.
She also said Mecca or something
Yeah.
to
She
that
did.
effect. But
And I was ticked off. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you
no,
off.
no, no, go ahead, go ahead.
I was very ticked off by her statement because what she did was she didn't give Stone warning that she was doing that. She had him put him on the phone while
Yeah,
she
I
was
kind of figured she kind of put him on the spot.
yeah, while she had him on the phone.
Mhm,
So when she started popping off,
mhm,
she was popping off. And then the same thing she turned around and said, I was like, did you not see that I presented just what you said?
mm. Mhm,
She didn't see the video from the
mm.
accident scene. I have the video.
Mhm,
I'm waiting on the police body cams. I did a
mhm,
FOIA request for those.
mhm,
I did a FOIA request for the full complete video from
mhm,
start to finish, as well as a FOIA request for the autopsy report,
mhm,
a FOIA request for the final police report
mhm,
for charges to be filed, if any. I went down the complete list. So
mm,
so what people don't know about me is I've been in the radio business for 47 years.
mhm,
I am a journalist.
mhm,
I may not show that every day because I'm an entertainer, of course,
mhm.
with love music. That's my interest is to make people have more babies. I'm sorry for saying it
Go
that
with
way.
me
Huh?
on over to my place.
Oh, well, my place. Yeah. And so that's the thing. So, while people are listening, say, well, his name is Quiet Storm. No, Quiet Storm FM is not my name. My name is Tony.
Right.
Quiet Storm
That's your
FM
radio station.
is my radio station, my
Mhm.
radio network.
I'm quiet. I'm 62.
Okay.
You've been around a long time. I've been listening to you for quite some time.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay.
And,
So let's just
so,
get that out there and get that understood.
yeah. So a lot of people don't really realize that only because I talk about it, but I don't talk about it because
Mhm.
it's not about the station. It's about me on this journey to find truth for
Mhm.
Angie. You see what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
I guess now that you said it, because you helped me to see this on a different value of common sense than I have been looking at it before, and
Mhm.
I thank you for that.
Because yeah, because out of all honesty, you're the only believable person on on that particular channel.
Yeah,
And I just don't want what you bring to the table to be misconstrued. And oftentimes it is because of that.
yeah,
You see what I'm saying? If we were to separate one from the other, it would be easier to take your content. You know what I'm saying? But when
yeah.
you've got something else jumping in that kind of muddies the waters,
Hmm.
it almost discredits it. But the only problem that I had the other night with the young lady, Mecca, when she came in and she said to you specifically that something about the 47 points of something were incorrect. I
Yeah,
didn't catch all of that.
I didn't
So
catch it either, but
I
that
wasn't
was
quite understanding what she meant about that.
mhm,
But all I can say is that this is about plain and common sense and what's conceivable and what is not. And one of the things that I've basically um, adhered to is that with regard to people, because it's not just her channel talking about this. Let's be real about it. We've
right,
got Paperwork Party as well.
right,
Okay. And
and
I look
I'm
at go ahead.
no, and I'm glad you mentioned that because that's my big bro. And what a lot of people may not understand is that we are both military veterans,
Mhm.
and for no reason will I ever not protect the six. of my
Mhm.
fellow comrade. Never.
I understand that.
That is a code that we have. That is a code that we live by. That is a code that we die by.
Mhm.
The difference between me and my brother is that I am doing research on a whole different level.
Mhm.
As any investigation, there always is multiple investigators to come to a source, and then they come to the
And
prosecutor will come to
collaborate.
a conclusion to establish the charges that's going to be
Mhm.
presented.
Mhm.
So what I am doing is that I am tearing down the very veracity of
Mhm.
members involved so that it could be presented as you may not want to trust the word of what they say.
Mhm.
You may better go deeper
Mhm.
to find out what's actually factual.
Mhm. I
Okay.
agree.
So let's even go further by looking at this. Paperwork just got the video
Mhm.
inside and outside of the van,
I
right?
saw that.
All right.
Mhm.
Now, that video brought us to another functioning portion of the investigation that says, well, wait a minute, what really happened on the inside?
Right.
Because
Right.
the story that is told seems to be
Different.
different by the presentation of the video and the pictures.
Exactly.
Video and picture don't lie.
Exactly.
There is no blood there.
And how can that be?
And now how can that be? Okay.
Mhm.
So now, why my big brother have done the footwork to go inside and get the tangible prima facie evidence that is needed to
Mhm.
present cause. Now I'm going back and I'm going back into the past of every single individual involved
Mhm.
to come to a conclusive thought process that we can make a calculus formidable conclusion that makes sense. And but all of us will not have the same conclusion.
Uh-huh.
But we all will come to a roundabouts the same.
Mhm.
All right.
Mhm.
Perfect example. All right. And I'm saying this first on your site. Nobody knows this information past right here, right now.
Okay. Okay.
It's about to be dropped like it's hot.
Uh-oh.
This is an exclusive.
I got an exclusive on my little old channel.
Yes, you do.
All right now. Y'all hear that in the chat? I'm an exclusive person now. Okay.
Well, you earned that right. You're earned the right because yeah, you earned the right. So let's look at Mr. Carter.
Mhm.
Let's look at the relationship of Shanna Shells.
Uh-huh.
I'm so sorry about that. These folk know that. Hold on one second.
Mhm.
Darling, why are you allowing calls to come to my phone? Sorry about that.
Oh,
Somebody
not a problem.
fired up in this office today. Okay, so Mr. Carter, Miss Shells,
Uh-huh.
and Michael have all been cahoots.
Mhm.
What at
Now,
least
Mr. Carter, can we clarify who Mr. Carter is? Are we talking about the driver?
Lethal Carter is the driver.
Lethal. Okay, that's who I'm thinking of too. Okay.
Okay. They didn't just meet. This didn't just come up overnight willy-nilly
Mhm.
at all. Michael and Shanna have been on TV YouTubing for
Hmm.
2 years.
Is that right?
I pulled the receipts.
What?
Look up Shanna Shell Von Shea
Uh-huh.
and you'll see it. You'll see Michael there 2
Mhm.
years back, a video.
2 years ago.
Yes.
Wow.
So
So she ain't just come along.
she didn't just come along. No, ma'am.
Mm.
Okay. Now, Decoder was hired by Lethal.
Okay.
Lethal was helping Angie to start getting her royalties back.
Mm-hmm.
But then Brother Stone them started helping to acquire all of that
Uh-huh.
in the royalties,
Which it
right?
wouldn't have costed her a dime if she
And,
had gone through Stone first.
and I'm glad you mentioned that, because I forgot to say that she paid $15,000 to get that done, when in
Correct.
fact it does not cost a penny.
Don't cost that. Mm-hmm.
So the night that Sharon was on the screen, I had just found the auction house that auctions off the royalties.
The royalties, yes.
And that's what I had presented on the screen that night. That
Right. I saw that.
she said was a lie. Well, it's
Wow.
not.
So
It's
that's
not.
what she was referring to as a
Yeah.
lie?
Yes, that's what she was referring to as a lie.
I didn't know it was that. I thought it was something else that she was referring to, because you can't dispute that.
No, you can't dispute that. I mean,
Mm-mm.
that's a legal auctioning house for royalties. That's what they do. That's their business.
Mm-hmm.
And right
And
there, they had
who presents that to the auction house in order for them to auction it off?
whoever would represent or own the royalties.
Okay.
So
Did
I'll give you a perfect example. Let's say you and I wrote a song together
uh-huh.
and we go platinum, make plenty
Right.
of music. Let's say you get sick or you get incarcerated
Uh-huh.
and I'm on the project.
Mm-hmm.
Now I don't want to lose because you're incarcerated, but we still make money, but I don't want to take the chance.
Right.
So I will sell the rights to the music to be auctioned off and take a lump sum of money.
Uh-huh.
That's what happened.
And what happens to the person who is incarcerated? What happens to their portion?
They
Or
lose
do
out.
they get a portion?
They lose out.
They lose it because they're in jail.
And their rights have been sold.
Okay.
You see how easy that is?
Yep.
Nowhere in the music business should it be that easy to do,
It
but it is.
shouldn't be, but it's there.
It's there.
Yeah.
So this is what I was explaining.
Mm-hmm.
So while explaining that, you would say, well, why would he go through the time to explain that? Because it shows the veracity and character of an individual involved, that if
Uh-huh.
they go to do this, what else have they done?
What else have they done? Yep. Yep.
Because
And
in a police investigation, they would
mhm,
say, well, you have motive.
right.
You had opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
What did you do or not do? Or
Mm-hmm.
what was your opportunity?
Mm-hmm.
So,
So at this particular point in time, there's 2 snakes in the house.
no, there's 8 snakes in the house.
Are you saying that everybody in that van was involved?
Not in the van, but there's other people outside of the van that are.
Outside. Okay. That's where I had a problem, because because it was being said on that particular platform that everybody in that van knew that she was about to be deceased. And that's where
Well,
I had a problem.
me personally, I can't say that because I don't know that.
Mm-hmm.
But it would be hard pressed to believe that at least 2 didn't know.
Mm-hmm. I just have a hard time thinking that anybody would climb into a van knowing that it's about to be taken out
Well, here's the thing.
in one person.
Here's the thing. Let's use a common sense value to that. Well, I can use the military. Whenever we're deployed, right?
Mhm,
And we're going to go in combat.
mhm,
We get our mission. We will never get the mission until the time is for the mission to be executed.
mhm,
The high ups would know, the brass would know what's going on, but we won't know as enlisted what goes on.
mhm.
We just get our orders at the time they are to be carried out.
Okay.
If you look at that same principle, Shanna may have known what was going on.
Mhm,
Michael may have known what was going on. Lethal may have known what was going on, but
mhm.
nobody else did.
Right.
So if you look at that scenario of common sense, it wouldn't make common sense for anybody else in the van to know.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now, but there's another issue of character that questions that theory. And here it is. They sought to file lawsuits before she was put in the ground.
Right. And where did this $1 million, $1 billion attorney from TV come from? How was she contacted?
I haven't been able to figure that one out yet. And the reason I haven't been able to figure that out yet is because I don't know the sources of who knew her.
Mm-hmm.
But since it came from Ashton, the twins,
Mm-hmm.
James, I'm going to say Ashton may have had an opportunity to find out her name from some other people because he would have been closest to Angie out of that whole crew.
Ashton is her assistant, correct?
He was her executive assistant, correct?
Okay.
So, well, let me use some common sense on this right here. All right.
Mm-hmm.
There's two people that didn't file a lawsuit out of that.
Right.
Dante Daly
Uh-huh.
and Sheila Hopkins.
Sheila's her cousin.
Sheila's her first cousin.
Okay.
Okay. Now, Dante Daly is another individual groomed in the business by Lethal. Angie did not have any dealings with Dante.
Uh-huh.
Dante was the third wheel brought in as a co-pilot, so to speak, to Lethal.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you look at that variable,
Mm-hmm.
what did Dante need to be there for?
That's a good question. To throw things off, maybe?
Exactly. Now, the other thing is, unless Dante hired an individual attorney,
Mm-hmm.
why would he not file also?
Mm-hmm.
And I'll tell you why. It's because he's represented by Lee's Entertainment, which is owned by Lethal Carter.
Mm-hmm. So he gonna get his money through Lethal.
Or if he files a lawsuit, he would have to be deposed. And if he's deposed under oath, they're going to find out that they had a relationship prior to that day, which would pretty much stamp there must have been something nefarious took place. This is at best, Auntie. Excuse me for calling you Auntie because we're both.
Oh, no, that's fine. That's fine.
This, at best, is the most sloppiest ghetto hit job I've ever seen in my life.
Exactly.
Never have I seen anything this ghetto, this sloppy. Now,
this is true.
Here is the thing. I don't know where Angie was. I only know what people say. I don't know. But I know the paper trail does not lie of common sense. And if you look at common sense in the paper trail, then people planned her demise.
Those three.
I'm going to say those people.
Okay.
Just in case I got one of the three wrong.
Right. But at least two, possibly three. We're playing spades now.
Thank you.
We got a two possible three.
We got a two possible three.
Okay. And that makes common sense to me as well. And that's what my whole thing has been about. Let's use plain and common sense. Because a lot of things that are being spewed out there don't make no sense.
Right.
You know,
now
it just doesn't.
You ready for the next exclusive? Everyone says that Lethal didn't have a driver's license, right? You had another journalist that did an interview with an former FBI agent
Mm-hmm.
that said he was friends with Lethal, and
Mm-hmm.
said in Lethal's old days, Lethal changed his life.
He changed what? I'm sorry, I didn't catch that.
Changed his life.
Changed his life because wasn't he used to? Didn't he used to be mob related?
Not only that, drugs and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
Terroristic threatening, the whole 9 yards.
Okay.
Auntie, I'm about to give you a worldwide exclusive that nobody's seen right now. I'm about to give you a gift.
Let me strap myself in. Hold on.
Yeah, you're gonna need to strap yourself in for this.
Okay. Okay. Y'all here? Y'all witnessing this now? This is for real. This ain't no plaything. Okay. Okay, I'm ready.
Give me 1 second. All right. Would you present that document on the screen for me, please?
Okay.
All right. Right here is the conviction paperwork from Fulton County Superior Court dated 4/11/2022 at 1:30 p.m. for the state of Georgia versus Lethal Carter criminal action. All right, let me scroll down to it here. Lord, y'all forgive my. You see what that says?
Trafficking.
He was convicted for trafficking methamphetamine, meth, and failure to obey a stop sign.
Yep.
Recently, right?
Wow.
He
Wow.
was adjudicated guilty. Sentenced 10 years to serve 90 days, balance of 9 years, 9 months on probation.
Wow.
If he was on probation, how in the world could this man be driving that van to Alabama?
Yeah. As I said, you bring the receipts.
Auntie, I'm going to read this again. 10 years to serve, 90 days, balance of 9 years, 9 months on probation. Convicted of meth trafficking.
Wow.
Now, let me show you the real killer to this whole thing. I'm going to help you here. We're going to reveal something that no one has revealed. You see, I'm tired of people playing with my name, and they have to understand that I am a go-getter. Do you see what's at the top of the screen?
Amended sentence.
Yeah. Look
Modified.
at amended sentence, modified sentence, revoked
Revoked.
sentence. What does it say after revoked sentence?
Resentence.
No.
Offender sentence. I'm sorry.
But what's in front of offender sentence?
Revoked.
Uh-uh.
Revoked first offender sentence.
Exactly.
Mm.
He got 90 days in jail because he was listed as a first-time offender.
Wow.
How could you be a first-time offender when you just got off of parole? I'll tell you why. Because Lethal Carter is not Lethal's name. Lethal's name is Lethal L. Randolph.
So he's been, is this a fictitious name or, I mean, just some name he made up? Or is that his government name?
I think the last name Carter may have some legality to it, but I haven't figured out what that is yet. I'm working on that. You know I'll be bringing the paperwork on it
Uh-huh.
as soon as I find it. But I had to dig deep to get this information.
Mm.
So how were you a first-time offender?
Mm.
And get adjudicated as such?
Because you went under a different name.
Under Fonnie Willis.
Oh, shit. Well, you just explained something right there.
There you go.
Oh, boy.
You know where I went, right?
Yep.
Mm.
Yep. You just peep the whole card right there. You just peep the whole card right there. Funny. Wow. Well, yep, you are absolutely right. It goes a lot
It's a lot
more
deeper.
than that's definitely deeper. That's
So,
definitely deeper. But like I
so
was saying earlier, the arrows were pointing to the wrong higher ups.
that's right.
Hmm.
And that's what they were hoping that everyone accepted. You
Right.
could take that down now.
Okay.
That's what everybody was. That's what they wanted everybody to believe.
The smoke screen.
The smoke screen.
Hmm.
You see, but here's the value in all of this. And I hope that everyone would take your page information from this broadcast
Hmm.
and understand that it's going to take all of us together with our individual capacities to
Hmm.
research and investigate this thing so that the truth comes out.
Uh-huh.
They want us all to battle against each other, but we
That's the
cannot
point.
do that.
That's the point that I was trying to make. We
Yeah,
can't be battling like
we
this.
can't. We cannot.
That's what they want us to do.
Right. I'm begging and please. I love my brother, so
Hmm.
I don't want him to feel that I was trying to change any narrative. No, I'm trying to provide the other information to help take the slack off of someone else so that they can focus it, because he was able to focus in on getting everything he needs, the video and everything.
Uh-huh.
So somebody has to be clever on the other side, and we all come together.
Right.
This,
And also, quiet, just let me just also add that I think what hurt Paperwork was when he went to the funeral with them glasses on.
can I be honest about something?
Hmm.
Can I be completely honest?
Hmm.
The one thing that we're taught in the military is covert operation.
Hmm.
And sometimes there are situations where you need to go covert
I understand that.
in order to help bring the facts.
Hmm.
If he had not done that, the world would not know the condition of the body.
The condition of the body, yeah.
They wouldn't have
But
known.
what ends up happening in the same process is just what it looked like. See, because your average individual is not going to look at, oh, well, he proved a point. They're going to look at, oh, he did something foul for clicks and views.
I,
That's how
well, well,
much people
well,
are going to look at it.
okay. I hear that value, but respectfully, can I add another one?
Hmm.
I don't know that it's for clicks and views. I look at it as a whole different value. That investigation needed to be started.
Hmm.
And the only way for it to get started is to know the condition
Of the body.
of the body.
Was an autopsy done?
An autopsy was done, but how do we know if we're going to get the truth about the autopsy?
Hmm.
How do we know?
At this
See,
point, we don't know.
if you if you we don't, right? So if you look at the disrespect value was more on Shanna Shells than anything for selling the obituaries,
Obituaries and
selling their
T-shirts.
products. before she was even in the ground.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That was.
Everybody need to put more focus on that disrespect more so than trying to find out the truth.
Uh-huh.
I might not have would have done it that way, but I'm not against it being done that way because we need to know the truth.
Yeah, I agree. I
So
agree.
so somebody had to take one for the team.
He took it, didn't he?
He took it, you know?
Yeah.
And so that's where it is.
But you know what? I'm still, I mean, I'm not, I understand what you're saying about taking one for the team, but my whole thing about this whole Angie Stone situation is that too many people are doing different things. We're all looking for the same goal.
Mhm.
The only problem is that we have a tendency in our culture to bicker,
Mhm.
and that takes away from. I mean, it takes away from the true purpose.
Right.
You see what
But
I'm saying?
yeah, but can I say this here because I'm looking at the chat right here
Hmm.
and I'm saying a lot of you in the chat must not be Angie Stone fans. And a lot of you must not really understand that in this line of entertainment, murders happen on a regular.
Hmm.
And you have to understand that if you do not trust law enforcement, sometimes we got to do things ourselves as media personnel
Hmm.
and personalities.
Right. Because we've
And
got people in the chat that aren't even from this country who
exactly.
don't know who Angie Stone is.
Exactly. So, because I'm looking at this one person, and I'm trying not to snap, and she's just, you know, yeah. You have to understand. I understand why that picture was acquired.
Hmm. I
I don't
understand
have,
now.
I don't have to personally agree with it, but at the end of the day, the greater cause is that picture woke everybody up to know, this ain't right. This ain't how it said. Because we would have still been believing that the truck ran her over.
Right. Can I interrupt you for just a moment, please?
Yes.
It's check 'em time for me. Um, I love my sweeties. Look here, sweetheart. I love you too. But don't forget whose chat this is. And you're not going to disrespect my guest. Do I make myself clear? No, I don't make myself clear. When I am at your house, I respect your house. When you come to my house, you respect my house. This is my house. Okay, if you're not interested, sweeties, you're free to go. I'm not holding you here, sweetie. I'm not holding you here at all. But this matters to me. No, I meant no, don't tell me off. I knew you were going to. Okay. Well, if you knew I was going to, you should have thought about that before you made all those comments. Okay. I understand your ADHD. I understand that too. But I want you to understand if when you're in my chat, you respect my chat. And that means you respect my guest as well. If he's on this platform, he's got just a right, as much a right to be here as you. I invited him up here. Now, if you had something to say, I would have invited you up here. But clearly you don't have much to say other than this is boring. If this is boring to you, sweetheart, you're free to go. And you're always welcome back. Okay? So anybody else that want to make lewd comments or whatever, I know some of you may not understand what we're talking about, and I'm sorry about that, but this is something that I have made videos about if you were watching my content, you might understand what we're talking about. And I'm not throwing no shade at you, okay? But when I have someone in my chat or on my panel, you respect them. You respect them. This is my house. And what's done in my house is my business. Do I make myself clear? I love all of you. I love each and every one of you. But what's not going to happen is you're not going to come up in here and disrespect someone on my panel. That won't happen. Okay. Well, he's not going to leave, sweetheart. So if you're ready to go now, feel free. Feel free. I understand you're from Australia. Okay. This is America. And in America, you have the right to do whatever you want to do in terms of leaving or staying. But I have the right to kick you out if you disrespect my panel. And I don't want to do that. So, like my grandma used to tell me, if you ain't got nothing good to say, don't say nothing at all. Okay. I'm going to leave that alone. Okay,
Yeah.
quiet. Let me
Okay.
get back to you, sir. Sorry
Yes.
about
Yes.
that.
I appreciate that, and thank you everyone in the chat for your time and patience. Auntie, this situation is very volatile,
Hmm.
and I need everyone to understand whatever whatever needs to be done within the law
Hmm.
to acquire evidence and information.
Hmm.
I am all for it,
Okay. I understand
because
that.
if it's for you, if it's for me or anybody else, we would want that same thing.
Hmm. Hmm.
So I think Angie deserves that same thing.
I do too. I do too. And I appreciate your coming forth and explaining that portion to me, because um I was seeing more of the ratchetivity. That's the word of the day.
Mm-hmm,
Ratchet. I was seeing more ratchetivity taking place in this whole thing
mm-hmm,
than what really counts.
mm-hmm,
You know, that's why I rode for Stone so hard,
mm-hmm.
because he was the one that I perceived to be the one with the most common sense,
Yes.
in dealing with this. I mean, when you're talking to
Mm-hmm,
lay people don't always understand what you just explained.
mm-hmm,
Okay. And I'm still trying to learn as well.
mm-hmm.
But, it didn't take a rocket scientist for me to figure out that she deserves better than a whole lot of swinging your neck back and forth and saying, no, this person did it and this person did it, and all this, just flinging information out there that's not credible.
Eh, Yeah. Yeah. So
And
what?
and
Mhm.
it's not just that platform, but other platforms as well. You can't spew out information if you don't have something to back it up, other than your, whether it be innuendo
Mhm.
or your own personal opinion. Opinions don't mean anything, because opinions are like assholes. Everybody has
Everybody
one.
got one.
Okay.
Can I be forthwith with you?
Uh-huh.
I believe that there's only three sources of information that is truth
Hmm.
out of everything that comes out.
Hmm.
Well, four, four. Okay, that's Paperwork Party,
Hmm.
Stone,
Hmm.
Tough. I don't tough something other.
Tough news.
Tough News,
Yeah.
and myself,
Hmm.
because we're the only individuals that have receipts.
Hmm.
And at
I'll
the
buy
end
that.
of the day, if you listen to all of the stories combined together,
Hmm.
saying
They
the
all paint
same.
the same picture.
Yes,
Yeah.
all paint the same picture.
Yeah. And that's where I was telling you earlier. It's sometimes it's the delivery.
It is the delivery. Yet at the same time, you know, Big Bro, he was in the entertainment industry himself too, as well as the military.
Mhm.
And so there is the entertainment side there,
Mhm.
but
Mhm.
out of his entertainment, there is a genuine explanation of what's
Uh-huh.
happening because he's not capping. He's telling you the truth, and it may be in an entertainment form, but it is the truth
Mhm.
because I can verify everything that he said.
Uh-huh.
In fact, I have the documents to verify exactly what he said.
Right.
What I don't have is the footage, but I
Okay,
do
so
have the footage
you
of the
need to
of
combine the two, is what
yes,
you're saying. Your receipts and his receipts, put them together, and you've got the full receipts.
you got the full receipt.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. And see, I'm coming from a viewer's standpoint. I
Mhm.
don't watch everybody's platform.
Right.
And I mean, it just so happened I don't watch Tough News.
Mhm.
Not that I don't like Tough News. I don't
Mhm.
have enough time in the day to
Mhm.
watch everybody. But
Mhm.
I've watched Messy Sweet Spot, and that's where I saw you.
Yeah.
And I've watched Paperwork Party, and I've watched Stone. And out of those 3 platforms, you were the one on Messy Sweet Spot that made the most sense.
Mhm.
But because it's her platform, her behavior, and again, I don't wanna I'm not
No,
trying to
I follow you. I follow you where you are. I'm clearly where you are.
it 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 takes away from what you have to offer,
Mm.
okay?
Okay.
And then you incorporate Paperwork Party, who also has receipts. They're not the same as yours, but they are receipts. And then his delivery can be a little bit crass, you know.
Mhm.
Everybody's not into the MFs and the you know what's. No, I cuss too. I try
Right.
not to cuss that much, but
Right.
it a lot of it has to do with delivery when you're dealing with your regular public people,
Yeah.
you know. And then we've got Storm. Here we go with this phone again. That's my grandson. He's gonna have to wait. Um, you've got Storm, who he has credibility with me in that he had a personal relationship with her, that they were friends. And he doesn't come off as trying to sell anything. You see what I'm saying? He's
Mhm.
just laying out what he has. And when you put all 3 of those ingredients together, you'll come up with the truth. All I'm saying was the bickering and because there's some people that only follow Paperwork Party. There's
Mhm.
some people that only follow you
Mhm.
on Gigi's channel. And there's some people that don't even follow Storm because he hasn't been on this platform. He's been doing
Mhm.
music. He didn't
Exactly.
come out on this particular situation until her demise. So, there's a lot of people that are not receiving all the information. And then when you sit back and you only see part of the information and the way it's delivered,
Mhm.
it makes one think, "Oh my god, this is ridiculous. This is crazy." And that's why I made the video that let's just all use plain and common sense. And at the particular time that I made that video, I had not yet spoken with you. I had seen Paperwork Party on several other uh, issues like Whitney,
Mhm.
you know. Um, the way that he goes about is much different.
Mhm.
And I just felt that, I come from the community. When I say the community, I'm talking about the Black community.
Yeah. I know.
Okay. And well, because sometimes I got to clarify it with people that because they seem to see the color of my skin and don't think I'm Black, but I'm just as Black
Your
as a lot of other folk out there that
your
don't
your
get
au your auburn hair says it all.
but I'm just saying, I don't. We get enough. We get enough baggage as it is out there.
Yeah. Yeah.
We get laughed at enough as it is out there. You know,
Yeah.
and when we hear about people saying, "Oh, there they go again. Ah, there they go again." That's what I'm trying to prevent
Right.
because
But
we have some very intelligent Black people,
Oh, we
out
do.
here looking into this,
Oh, we do. Yeah, for
very
sure.
reputable,
Hmm.
that can figure this out, because there's some other people out there that aren't paying too close attention to this because it doesn't matter to them.
No, it matters. They're
It's
afraid.
ours.
No, 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 no. It matters to them, but they're afraid.
Well, they're afraid, but then there's been some sloppy work too.
Well, yeah, there's been some sloppy work, and there's a whole bunch of sloppy work out there. But
Yeah.
the core people of information, the core people of information,
Mhm.
regardless of what anybody wants to believe,
Mhm.
is Stone,
Mhm.
Paperwork Party,
Mhm.
Tough, and myself.
Mhm. But what I was referring to was the law enforcement aspect. When I said
Well,
sloppy,
that's a whole nother.
that's what I'm talking about. Law
Yeah,
enforcement, because if we could rely on law enforcement to do their job, we wouldn't need a quiet storm. We wouldn't
no,
need a paperwork party. We wouldn't need Stone Paxton to come out and speak.
right,
But we can't rely on law enforcement when it comes to things of this nature for our community.
exactly,
So we have to speak up for our community. It's just about how we go about doing it. And
exactly.
you can come together and do it on one platform, that would be wonderful.
Yes,
But we've got several platforms trying to achieve the same goal.
but in all fairness, it's going to take the reason why is people have to kind of understand it for the way it is because there's different styles of an investigation.
Mhm.
Let's We need a paperwork because he's the bulldozer.
Uh-huh.
He ain't gonna care. He's
Right.
gonna he's gonna do whatever it takes to get to the bottom of the source.
Mhm.
You got to have that because on the other analytical side, that person's gonna say, "Oh no, man, I ain't gonna do that. That don't make sense. Oh, this might be disrespectful." But we'll never get the answer by that opinion only. So we have to have the balance between the go-getter, the analyzer, and the forward runner of the information. See, here's what we got. Stone is the forward observer.
Mhm.
Paperwork is infantry going in hot.
Mhm.
I'm air defense sending out the missiles to
Okay,
protect them.
but no,
So you see
this
the
is where I have a problem though. We've
Mhm.
got we've got the bull runner battling. What is Stone again? What
Stone is
part is he again?
he's the forward observer. He's
He's
the
the
first
forward
first
observer.
person out. He's the first
Right.
person out in the field.
Okay, so we've got the bull runner going up against the forward observer, and there's ascension right there.
Yes,
That's what muddies the waters.
it 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 does. But in all fairness, as men, as proud black men, as proud black men that have hurt and care enough for what's happening,
Uh-huh.
the two of them have to come to a level of understanding
Mhm.
and operation.
Mhm. Which I thought is what happened in the first place,
I,
but
I
apparently that went out the window.
I thought so too. Yet some things happen,
Mhm.
and I could see from both sides.
Right.
Why I can't take a side. I could see from both sides where there could be contriteness.
Right.
You know.
Right.
Yet I don't believe nowhere in my heart does paperwork mean any harm. Nor does I believe in my heart anywhere the stone mean any harm. What I believe that they got to put everything aside and
Mhm.
put Angie in the front and let that be.
Mhm.
Because all of our feelings are going to get hurt.
Mhm.
All of our feelings will get crushed on. And all of us may not agree to the same thing.
Mhm.
Yet at the same time, we're all working together.
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
love my big bro. I'm older than him, but I call him my big bro. You see what I'm saying?
Because he's a big bro.
He's a big bro.
He's a
You
big
know,
one.
Me, I'm older than I'm 65. I'm older than everybody else that's out here doing this.
Mm-hmm.
So of course I'm gonna sit back and think a little different than everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I should be the one to do that,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm not disputing anyone.
Mm-hmm.
The only people that I'm disputing is those people in that van and the people outside the van that was in the inner circle that are
Mm-hmm.
not speaking up and not telling the truth.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm
Outside of
with
that,
you on that.
yeah.
I'm with you
Outside,
on that.
outside of that, I need paperwork because paperwork is going to pull up something that's going to make me see something. Oh, let me look into this right here.
Mm-hmm.
I need Stone because Stone is going to give the forward information to put everybody on the right path to hunt.
Because wasn't he the one that brought what's her name? What's
Yeah,
that girl's name?
yeah.
He brought her out.
If he hadn't said her name, I wouldn't have all the
Nobody
information.
would have known. Nobody would have known.
You see, so it's a combination of everybody. Look,
Right.
audience. People love who they love. People
Yeah.
support who they support.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, the bottom line is this: we care about Angie Stone.
Mm-hmm.
So my feelings, my personal wants, my personal needs have nothing to do with anything. I can comply to paperwork. I can comply to whomever else. Because at the end of the day, I'm going to do that research.
Mm-hmm. Well, that I do appreciate. I now that part I appreciate from you. I've got to give it to you. You definitely you come with the receipts. My only issue was where you was delivering the receipts at.
Yeah.
It had nothing to do with what you were delivering. It was where you were delivering it, and that's what took away
And
from everything.
and I can see that, and I can say this. My platform, I don't have enough people to get this information out. It'll fall on deaf ears
Mm-hmm.
because I'm not a YouTuber.
Mm-hmm.
Although I have a page, I don't do anything with it.
Mm-hmm.
So the information that I have would fall on deaf ears.
I don't know if that's true, Quiet.
Really?
I really don't believe that. I believe because of this issue in particular, that would put you out there because Angie Stone is trending
But Auntie,
and
from
you
the
have the information. You've got enough people out here that's willing to vouch for you and your information. I am willing to vouch for your information. And I'm sure I'm not the only one. If you can deliver it on Messy Sweet Spot, you can deliver it on Quiet Storm's YouTube channel.
okay,
Don't discredit yourself.
okay.
Don't do that. Please don't do that.
And Big Bro has said the same thing to me too.
Mm-hmm.
He said the same. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I have been told, and I respect all that. But you know what? I'm gonna be honest. I'm just scared to do it on my own. I'm a radio broadcaster.
I understand, but
I'm
hey,
not,
if I can
I don't
drag
even
my
know.
62-year-old tail out here and do live streams, so can you.
I don't. I don't even know all the rules to this mess, man. I don't.
Hey,
Oh
hey,
man.
we play it by ear, we wing it, we get it till we fit in, you know. But
Okay.
you have the information that people want to hear, and everybody is not going to want to go over there to the other place to hear it.
Okay.
And I'm just saying that. I mean, I'm not saying that you shouldn't disseminate it. I'm not. No, please don't stop. If that's the only place that you want to deliver it, then do it there. But I'm just saying that that's not your only option.
Okay.
And your credibility stands on its own. You don't need someone else's platform to stand on your own credibility. You've got it already.
And I was afraid of that. I'm being honest, and I thank you for the whooping.
I don't mean to break out the strap or the switch, but I'm just saying what I'm saying.
Oh,
You
you
know,
had it out
you
already. I took my stripes. I can. So, okay.
Okay,
So
so
here's
here's
this then.
this then.
Do you
Do
know that I am the only person that has a 3-hour interview recorded with Sheila Hopkins?
No, I did not know that. That's the
Exhibit.
cousin. That's the cousin.
That's the cousin. Exhibit number 1.
Mm-hmm.
But she was smart enough to go to YouTube, and she might have had a little bit of street.
That's one of the things that you're gonna.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't say stay awake, but it was something he was going to help him co-pilot. He said that was going to be his co-pilot. That was the word used.
Use. Okay. So now
And security.
and security. So basically, when Lethal is driving, there could be no argument going back and forth because the divider was up.
Correct. Now we did put most of the problem was being cold. It was really cold in that van.
Yeah.
I'm just going with the flow, but Angie kept telling them to turn up the heat, that the heat wasn't working in the back.
Right.
So we stopped to get gas, and he came back and tried to fix the heat, but the heat might have started working a little bit. But that was, but other than that, if we had any kind of conversation, we had to roll down the little window.
Okay.
And I was on that side to roll the window down. So if anybody has something to say, I would roll the window down and they would say what they had to say. But most of that was about being cold.
Okay. So the bottom line is that he was not up front by himself. There was somebody in the passenger seat up front with him.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And right now, that person that was in the front seat with him wasn't a band member.
No, he wasn't. Mm-mm.
Okay. So now here's where the problem.
Quiet, you still there?
Can you hear me now? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you.
Did you hear what he said? And for those that are listening, that is the first cousin of Angie Stone, Sheila Hopkins,
who was in the van
at the time. Now, let me say this here. So if anybody said, "Oh my God, that's dirty of him to play that recording,"
no, it ain't.
In media, we have the full, absolute protection to record for a story. Georgia is a one-party state, and so is Hawaii. So I have all the legal reasons to record that conversation. And play it back. And I did it because the truth needed to be put out. Now, what you just heard, no one has heard.
Wow.
And if I was a person after money, I could have done what?
The whole thing.
I could have sold the whole thing to who?
Yep.
Major media, TMZ, whoever.
Yep.
I could get paid. I want our family to solve this. You see what I'm saying?
I get it.
This ain't about the money. No. I don't need it.
And here's the other thing. If mainstream media was interested enough,
they would have done this.
They would have been done this. But they're not interested enough. So why should you do the legwork and they get the glory?
Exactly.
Okay. I'm just saying what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah. So So this is what everybody's going on, and they're so into wanting to have content creators battle each other
Hmm.
versus understanding that there's levels. I had to do the dirty work to get the audio.
Hmm.
Paper does what he does. Don't it takes all of us. We got to
Hmm.
find out the truth,
Hmm.
and everybody not might not get it from the same source, but
Right.
it all come together.
Hmm.
It'll all come together, and at the end of the day, that's what we have to have happen.
Well, I'm going to do whatever I can do to help. That's all I can. I'll do whatever is within my power to help. I'm a nobody,
And
but
if you go to my website, my phone number is there.
okay,
You could hit me anytime or whatever. Disregard the emails that you may see. You you
okay.
my you my favorite sister.
Well, thank you so much. Man, you don't know how much I appreciate you coming up
Well,
and helping to give me some context as well. Because as a viewer, I don't see everything that you guys see.
mhm,
But what I did see was a lot of bickering and a lot of egos, and even with Stone's latest challenge to paperwork, even though it sounds like a good idea, I know that there's some uh, testosterone behind that challenge.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Um, but again, it doesn't. I mean, yes, it would be nice to bless the family, but the family needs to know what they're dealing with as well.
yeah.
And I'm a
Well,
firm believer that Michael's got a snake in the house.
and Michael might have a little hiss in him too.
Mhm. Mhm. Well,
So
you can't
let me let,
you
let me.
can't chill with the snake for too long without it slithering around you.
Adam did it, and what happened
Yeah.
to Adam?
Mhm. That's
Okay,
my point.
all right. So now let's look at this here for a second. If you have a person that is known for prostitution,
Mhm.
if you want to take a person down, what do? Right now, I'll give you a perfect example. If I'm hunting a man down and I
Mhm.
can't find him, and he's always hiding, but I can't get to him,
Mhm.
I'm gonna find five of the hottest prostitutes and send where he may be
And draw him out.
and draw him out because one of them gonna get him,
Yeah.
and then I'm gonna get him.
Mhm.
So you send the prostitute to break down the soul of a man to get
Mhm.
exactly the information that you need. You see how this all ties together?
Mhm.
This is the type of person Mr. Carter is.
Mm. Mm.
And let me define that Carter. This is the kind of person that Mr. Lethal Carter
Mm.
is. So
Mhm.
nobody don't think I'm talking about the other Carter. And that other Carter ain't got nothing to do with this.
Right.
So we clarify that.
Mhm. So, in essence, he's the mastermind
Of course,
behind it.
of course he's the mastermind.
Yeah. And
But the
she's playing along with
she's
him.
playing along. She's the puppet. But her monetary gain out of it is for sacred sound.
Right. For her little, yeah,
For her. That's what it is.
her little music thing.
In the music. Oh, here's the other thing. Angie Stone had $15,000 cash on her.
Hmm. Don't tell me it was gone when they. Mm,
Money has not been found.
it's gone.
It's gone.
Somebody in that van got that money. Mm, wow. So somebody had to know she had it.
Hmm.
Wow.
And they were looking for some cell phones, but those cell phones had been confiscated.
Confiscated by law
Detect-
enforcement?
Yes.
Mm, interesting. Hmm.
Now, where law enforcement made their mistake at in this whole thing, and I'm gonna shut up, but I'm about to tell the whole head of the story. How sloppy they are in Alabama. And that, yeah, here's what happened.
Mm,
You have a man that's a convicted felon,
mm-hmm.
actively on probation, in lieu of a maybe intentional homicide or unintentional homicide.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of you holding him for 72 hours to find out what is what, and
Mm-hmm.
to check and see if this man had permission to even be in the state of Alabama,
Exactly.
because that would have held him. That would have held him without with no time period because of the violation of probation.
Mm-hmm.
So that they would have been able to hold him,
Right.
but because of the sloppy work,
Mm-hmm.
it got overlooked.
Now, is it at all possible that Miss Fannie Willis might have gotten a phone call that night?
Boop, 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 boop. Booyah.
Hmm. Just a thought.
Slimy meat, slimy meat, slimy meat, slimy.
Mm-hmm. Hmm. Because how would he be so confident to do such a nefarious act in those conditions if he didn't think that he had some kind of a backup in case things didn't go quite right?
Exactly. And normally in the state of Georgia, if you get a drug charge while driving, you don't have a driver's license anymore.
Mm-mm. Sure don't. Yeah.
Trafficking meth, second
Mm.
degree felony, you gonna still have a driver's license?
Mm.
Not. So you tell me what you,
Free with that,
huh?
with the fact that he's able to walk free with that tag on his back.
Yes. What are
That's
you doing?
he's got further backup.
Right. And look at the neglect from the elite services.
Mm-hmm.
You had a convicted felon actively on probation that you did not clear
Mm.
to take people down the road. And you don't believe that you're libelous?
Mm. Mm. Absolutely, they are.
Thus leading me to believe that someone is going to file claims and break Lethal off because he's going to be the sacrificial lamb for
Mm-hmm.
everybody to get paid.
Mm-hmm. Somebody gonna be it.
Oh, he's it. Oh, he's the sacrificial lamb.
Well, you've definitely clarified quite a bit. You've definitely clarified quite a bit. I am very confident that this will be solved within the community. And yeah, I'm just like I said before, I rode for Stone because he seemed to be the most common sense factor in this.
Mhm.
And he didn't have a dog in the fight,
No, he don't have a dog in the fight.
you know. But what do you think of this challenge? Let's get in the ring and raise some money for the family. What do you think about that?
Auntie, I love both of my brothers.
Mm-hmm.
And me and Stone,
Testosterone move.
yeah. And so I love them both.
Mm-hmm.
I want them to drop that.
Mm-hmm.
I want them to face where we are all together.
Mm-hmm.
And let's do what we got to do. And let's understand that each of us have a separate way that we roll. And let's not take offense to how the other roll, other than say, all right, how does this line up with what I got? Let's line it up and see where we are.
Mm-hmm.
Because we can't do this without paperwork.
Right.
We can't do this without Stone.
Right.
And I think everybody needs me to continue to do the paperwork so that I
That
can
part.
provide paperwork.
Yeah. Yeah. It's all three components.
Yeah. So
All three components are necessary.
yeah, it's all necessary.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, it doesn't matter what anybody else in the YouTube field do.
Mm-hmm.
But those two right there are the most two respected at the helm. And the reason that is respected at the helm is because paperwork is going to do whatever's necessary to get the evidence in all legal bounds. We may not agree with it,
Mm-hmm.
but it's righteous.
Mhm.
You follow me? What I'm saying?
Yeah,
It has
yeah.
to happen. It's
I just
somebody.
think that I just think that the threats of physical violence and things of that nature could maybe not be said
And
because it.
and, and I'm going to agree with that, and I'm
Mhm,
going to say that I know my two brothers,
mhm,
my strong black brothers,
mhm.
are going to come to a head and put everything back together because feelings are hurt.
Right.
Pride is at stake.
Yes.
And when you take the truth from a man, you can't
Mhm,
hurt his pride any more than that
mhm,
because his truth is his pride.
mhm.
And they both have truth.
Yeah,
You see what I'm saying? So
absolutely.
so out of love, I'm saying the atmosphere of Confucius wants the world confused. And the
Right,
world can only be confused from the top down.
right.
Y'all are at the top. Y'all are the respected items on the tree that everybody have to get light from.
Mhm,
So unless the light is led from y'all, the rest of us can't follow.
mhm. Can't see. Can't see.
Stone is the 5-star general.
Mhm,
Paperwork is the 4-star general. And the rest of us are lieutenants following in steps to help get the information to put it together.
mhm,
Not
mhm.
separate narratives. My
Right.
narrative, my narrative is the paperwork trail to follow everything else,
Mhm,
bringing the history out where no one else is able to talk about it and do it. I'll do it. I ain't
mhm,
scared. I'll bring it out. So I'm
mhm,
gonna beat them up over the head with that, and they beat them over the head with you see what I'm saying? And that's
mhm.
all of us coming together.
Yeah,
That's 5 sticks whooping on one body.
there you go. The truth will come out.
The truth's gonna come out, you know.
Yeah.
So I need the world to understand. We would not be this far talking about this right now if paperwork had not done what he did.
Mhm.
We would not be this far right now if Stone had not revealed what he revealed.
Right,
We wouldn't be this far
right.
because those two brothers are at the initial helm of making this thing work.
Mhm, mhm,
Paperwork churned, Stone turned.
mhm.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And because of the both of those two compiled information together, everybody else in the world, well, not everybody else in the world, those of us that have the insight to do what we need to do,
Mhm,
got our marching orders and know where to go.
mhm.
Because I'll be honest, I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know if paperwork hadn't done that.
Right,
I wouldn't have known if Stone hadn't have said that. I wouldn't
right.
know.
Mhm.
I probably wouldn't even thought to go that route. But look what
Right.
happened. Look
Yeah.
what look what happened. Paperwork was able to get the video of the van. I was able to get the video of the whole scene.
Mhm.
We all have our individual
Mm.
accomplishments in the fact of what's going on.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. I cannot down anybody. I cannot say anything about anybody.
Mhm.
What I can say is this: we cannot achieve this investigation to find out what's happening without paperwork.
Mhm.
We cannot. We can't. It's going to take a person like him to get
Mhm.
under the skin of folk
Right.
to make them show their mistakes
Mhm.
or try to cover up their mistakes. And when
Yeah.
they do that,
They
they're going
peep their own card.
they go, that's exactly right. And then the snipers are going to be back there waiting to say, "Oh, I got you."
Mhm. Mhm.
See,
See? Yeah.
he's in the
He's in
field,
the field. Yeah.
and he
And
he
I don't dispute the fact that he's a necessary part of this coalition, so to speak.
Mhm.
It's just that the delivery is the only problem that may be a problem amongst the viewers. But still, the bottom line is that at the end of the day, when this is all said and done, it ain't gonna matter how I got what he had to do to get it. It's not gonna matter as long as he got it. You know,
And
that's how fickle people are.
that's how fickle. But we
You
need
know,
we need to take our feelings off of our shoulders
right? And just keep it pushing until the truth does come
and
out.
keep it pushing until the truth come out.
Right.
Again, I'm making it plain. I love my brother Paperwork.
Hmm.
I'm making it plain. I'm here to follow the guard. I'm here to have his 6. I'm here to have Stone 6. I cannot take sides.
Uh-huh.
I have to go for the truth.
Hmm. Yeah.
And the truth is, they have the unadulterated facts,
Hmm.
and we got to work it.
Well, it's coming.
It's coming
It's coming. It's coming.
because there ain't no blood in that van. And you could believe right now, I could guarantee you Paperwork is like a bloodhound on them folk right now.
Hmm.
Oh, I'm telling you. Oh, if y'all don't know, you better get yourself together.
If you don't know, now you know.
Now you know. You better. It's coming.
Hmm.
He might already be there.
You probably is.
Probably is right now as we speak.
Yeah, probably is right now.
You know,
But as long as that's his focus, then that's all that matters.
I don't believe he has any other focus but that.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
don't. I mean, see, I'm not an insider, so I don't know. All I can do is speculate. You
Mhm.
know. But again, that takes me back to why I rode with Stone,
Mhm.
because Stone he doesn't have a dog in the fight, other than he loved Angie.
Mhm.
You know, and you
But
know.
you have to look at it from the side of Paperwork.
Hmm.
Paperwork was in the industry.
Hmm.
He was an artist.
And see, that part I didn't know.
And if you look at the hurts that he's gone through,
Hmm.
those may be the very same issues that drive him to get justice for others.
Right. So that's the connection between him and Gene.
Yes.
See, I didn't know that. I learned something tonight. I did not know he was in the industry. That makes complete sense to me now.
He knew a lot of the artists that's gone.
I didn't know that.
He rapped with them.
Honestly, I honestly did not know that.
Oh yeah, this brother comes from inside the industry. He's not somebody just popped up on YouTube to bum around.
Mm.
No. See, this is the thing that people don't realize about people. They see
Mhm.
a person talking, but they don't know what their actual background is.
Right. See, I just thought, honestly, personally, with me, I thought that he was affiliated with Gene for the bodyguarding part.
No.
That's
Paperwork,
what I thought.
Paperwork is a rapper,
I had
a
no clue.
producer. Oh, the brother got talent.
I had no clue.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
Well, I've got a better understanding now.
Yeah.
Much better.
When he goes after what happened to artists, he's doing that because he understands how dirty this industry
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
And he ain't gonna let the industry just keep doing things to people and not letting it get away. So
Mhm.
whatever he got to do to reveal that, he's gonna do it. And I don't blame him because the industry is that dirty. Auntie, let me tell you something.
They are dirty.
I've been on radio for 47 years.
Mhm.
This is the honest God truth. And if you work at a small station in a small network, you don't get the accolades of, say, someone working at WBLS or for iHeartMedia or whatever. You have to earn everything you get the hard way.
Right.
Okay. Now, when you take the history of the Quiet Storm from our grandfather of the Quiet Storm, Melvin Lindsay,
Uh-huh.
who started out with Kathy Hughes at Radio One before it
Mhm.
was Radio One at WHUR in Washington,
Mhm.
Howard University, HBCU.
Right.
Okay. Me in my teenage years, I'm like, oh man, that Quiet Storm. I got a deep voice. I'm gonna play all love music.
Mhm.
So I started doing the same thing too. Not
Mhm.
only me, Donnie Simpson,
Johnny Simpson. Yep.
all of us guys back there, we all loved Melvin Lindsay, and we grasped our style and our image from Melvin.
Uh-huh.
So Melvin Lindsay, when he was living, trademarked Quiet Storm.
Mhm.
And after he passed away, then Howard University trademarked Quiet Storm.
Mm.
But they only trademarked it for the codes that are outside of broadcast. So thus you had iHeartMedia and all these major conglomerates making advertising dollars from the brand of the Quiet Storm,
Wow.
knocking out the little guys.
Yeah.
So me and all my young old wisdom, I'm saying, you know what? How can I stop this?
Mhm.
So I looked up the trademark. I researched the trademark, and I found it had not been trademarked for radio syndication, internet syndication, television syndication, satellite syndication, AM or FM syndication.
Stop.
So you know what I did next, don't you?
Go ahead and tell me. I know what you
Trademarked the
did.
name. I trademarked the name.
There you go.
That's how I ended up with the ownership of the Quiet Storm.
Uh-huh.
Now, yes, I do not ever mess with Howard University.
Mhm.
How and what audacity would I have to go after the start and beginning of the historical factors of the Quiet Storm?
Uh-huh.
No, leave them alone.
Right.
But the rest of y'all gonna have to pay.
There you go. Mm. If you was in front of me right now, I'd have to high five you right then
Hey,
and there.
I'm hitting
Boom.
the TV screen right there. So
Boom.
so if people want to think that I'm an internet broadcaster, okay, think that. I don't care. But I own the Quiet Storm. And
Mhm.
I am getting paid and gonna get paid from every single source, to include you on YouTube, for using the name Quiet Storm. If you use the name, you are going to have to pay me or cease and desist.
Mhm.
Point blank.
Well, that tells me I better not put you in my in my live stream title.
Auntie, you have the rights. I'm saying it publicly. You could play this back. You have the rights to use the name.
Okay, I'm just gonna put you in the title because I want people to be able to come and see this
No,
for
you got
themselves.
it's all clear, all permission.
Okay.
I didn't understand before.
Uh-huh.
Stone said to reach out, and I did. I did what he instructed me to do. To
Okay.
reach out, because
Well,
I
I
I
appreciate both of you.
yeah I follow instructions well. You know.
Man, I'm just tripping that y'all thought of little old me.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
tripping.
we had a long conversation about you last night.
Wow.
All
Wow.
good, all good, all good. And he wasn't the only one. Others came to me and say, "Hey, just let her know who you are." And
Mhm.
that's what it is on the internet, on YouTube, with a lot of people. They don't really know who I am. They think I'm somebody just willy-nilly just popped up on the scene, but they don't realize that I have been in the radio industry for 47 years.
Well, I knew Quiet Storm for a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought that you were affiliated with GG because that's the only place I ever saw you.
Yeah, well, how
You
I
know?
ended up there is that I was able. She had enough people on her platform for
Mhm.
me to get the news out to where it get to a large amount of the world. And
Right,
that's
right.
why
She
I
does
chose,
have a huge following.
right. And that's why I chose, and I put everything else aside outside of my mind, other than to say, this is for Angie.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
that's why I do that.
Mm.
And sometimes you got to do what you got to do to get the word to the masses.
That's true. That's very true.
And the masses is picking up the message. And that
Yes.
at the end of the day, that's what matters. And that's the source to quickly get it out there.
Mhm. All right. That
If
makes complete sense to me.
yeah, so I there are things that I don't like.
Mhm.
Every now and then it slips out of my mouth, you know.
I know.
Because I people say, Auntie, people say that I'm mean. I'm not mean, Auntie. I,
Excuse me.
as well as being on the radio, I'm also a military veteran, a
Mhm.
retired military veteran.
Uh-huh.
One that is 100% disabled from
Mm.
combat.
Mm.
I've earned my stripes. I've
Right.
earned it. And because I'm a radio network, I don't allow people to play with the name Quiet Storm. Although
Mhm.
I shouldn't use it, I should probably use my name. But at the same time, why not use my network platform than myself?
Mhm.
Does that make any sense? Or am I?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So that's why I use Quiet Storm FM. And I've been on other people's platforms. I have
Mhm.
more than one network. I have the Gospel Storm, which is a 24-hour gospel hip hop internet station that's on
Mhm.
satellite radio. I also have Storm Television Network,
Mhm.
which I am on every smart TV in the world with my network that has all of the channels on there. It has a
Mm.
20. You remember the old days of BET when they had the 24-hour music
Absolutely.
video?
Yep.
That's what I have on Storm Television Network. All
Okay.
music videos 24 hours a day. Old
Mm.
school, old school hip hop, old school rap, and the Quiet Storm. All
So
those
that's
form.
what my husband is watching all the time.
Yeah.
That part.
See, so people don't know. You heard of Zeus Network, right?
Yep. Yep.
I worked with Lemmy Plummer, Lemel
Mm.
Plummer. I worked for his father, Glenn Plummer.
Mhm. Amazing.
I I am the person that is responsible for TV One being on the air.
Ain't that something?
In 2003, Senator John McCain called a meeting with the FCC and
Uh-huh.
Comcast Cable as to why black-owned networks could not get on television. And I said in front of the Congress, they need to put in place where cable companies have to provide 14% of their channel bandwidth to minority-owned stations.
Uh-huh.
Thus, after then, Comcast makes an agreement with TV One, and that's how Black Television Network got on cable.
Wow.
Folk need to understand. And at that time, Michael Powell, General
Mhm.
Colin Powell,
Right.
son, was the commissioner of the FCC.
Mm.
You got to understand, there's a lot of history inside of me in this.
Mhm.
This is not, this. I'm not just the average person talking. A lot of people on the TV screen have come behind me
Mhm.
and have worked at me in sources, and they don't even realize that I'm the person.
Mm.
T.D. Jakes, Eddie
Mm.
Long, Creflo Dollar, Clarence McClendon,
Right.
TBN, every major mega church, mega media that's
Mhm.
out there outside of Daystar, I have worked with
Wow.
as an engineer.
Mhm. Well, you got that clout.
Yes,
You ain't no clout chaser, that's for sure.
I'm not this is what I need them to understand. I am not a clout chaser.
Mm-mm.
What I am looking for is the space and the respect to have a network at what I've been doing all my life so that
Mm-hmm.
people can understand it and we get paid.
Mm-hmm.
We
Absolutely.
take it back from
Absolutely.
iHeart, take it back from these networks making all the advertising dollars off of the product that we do. The
Right.
music that we put, they don't even know how to program the music, Auntie.
Mm. Wow. That's
And
a
I found
whole nother topic right there.
a whole nother
What
time.
what we
And
started.
exactly. And I started a new Quiet Storm platform called Quiet Storm Generation X.
Mm.
Oh, excuse me, Quiet Storm Gen X.
Gen
And
X.
that's for the new breed of music, SZA and all of them, and Quiet Storm in their years of music, so that they
Right.
can, because they don't want to necessarily go back to hear Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes, Teddy Pendergrass. You know,
I don't know why. That's
I don't
when the
know why,
music was really tight.
but there's a new breed of the Quiet Storm that's generating among their generation, and we
Uh-huh.
have to respect that and give them that.
Wow.
So this is what
Brother,
I.
I commend you. I commend you for all that you've done and are yet to do.
Mhm.
You ain't done yet.
No, just getting started.
All right now.
Yeah, so I'm
Well,
I'm
I
glad you had a
appreciate
chance to I'm glad you had a chance to get to know me and allow me to talk about me, because this is your platform is the first time I've ever just gone into that grave detail about me.
wow. Well, I am flattered. I'm not gonna lie. I'm like a well, I almost said something I shouldn't say on YouTube, so I'm gonna leave it alone. I was gonna
Okay.
say something about Boys Town, but I'm not gonna
Oh
say
yeah.
nothing.
Yeah, yeah.
But I truly, truly appreciate you coming forward and we have this discussion
Thank you.
because it mean a lot to me. I
And
mean, the
likewise for me.
show meant a lot to me.
Well, we're family from the hip from now on.
All right now.
Anytime, anytime you need me or whatever, please, 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 please let me know.
I sure
If you,
will. I
if you
got your number now.
if you feel like I need to be corrected, don't hesitate to get on my behind. I accept it. Okay. Because
All right, sweetheart. Thank you so much.
you're welcome.
I
You're welcome.
appreciate you.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Oh my. Is anybody else here? Did everybody leave? Do I owe y'all an explanation? I got 6 people in here. If you need me to tell you what was happening there, I hope you got the gist of most of it. But I'll give you a moment to answer, and if not, that'll let me know that everybody's gone. All righty then. Well, with that said, I'm out, you guys, and I hopefully will talk to you later. I will be in your chats if you are up and available later. Black, if you are still here. And if you go live, I will come to your live and kind of let you know what was going on there. The rest of you, I love you. Peace.